In this section, we will discuss hybrid eviction policy. Hybrid eviction policy, as the name suggests, is a combination of two or more eviction policies that we have discussed so far. In hybrid approach, we consider different eviction policies by considering different aspects like the recency or the access order, the frequency of access, or size or priority, or basically everything that we have discussed so far. So instead of using a single criteria, we use multiple eviction policies in this approach. Suppose we are building a cache, and for the eviction policy, we are using a combination of LRU and size-based eviction. So this kind of cache may prioritize removing the least recently used item as per the LRU policy, but it may also consider the size of the items. So in this case, the eviction policy is not only the access based, but it is also considering the size of the elements. The hybrid eviction policy is useful for scenarios when a single eviction policy does not fully solve the problem, or it doesn't address the requirements of a specific scenario, and combining multiple policies may provide better results. We will now discuss our last eviction policy, which is dynamic eviction. This is also known as smart eviction policy. All the eviction policies that we have discussed so far are static in nature. By static, we mean the criteria is fixed, whether it is frequency based or access time based or size based. They do not take the dynamic nature of application into account. So dynamic eviction policy is an adaptive eviction strategy that dynamically adjusts the behavior of eviction policy based on the access patterns. So if the access pattern of application is changing, then this kind of eviction policy will change its own behavior. It monitors the workload characteristics or other runtime factors to determine the correct eviction policy. In this kind of approach, we often use machine learning or any other statistical model to make informed decisions about which items to evict. So you can say this is similar to an intelligent load balancer, which monitors all the nodes in the system, their current load, their access patterns in order to redirect a request to a healthy node. Dynamic eviction policy is useful for scenarios where access patterns are dynamic, where workload is dynamic, and where we see the fluctuations in access patterns throughout the day. So, in such scenarios, a dynamic eviction policy can dynamically adjust the eviction decisions based on the monitoring and the predictions. We have discussed many eviction policies till now, and all of them help us to make an informed decision to build our own solution based on the specific requirement and the data access patterns. In a nutshell, the decision to choose an eviction policy depends on many factors such as the nature of the data, the access patterns in the applications, and most importantly, the trade offs between the simplicity and the effectiveness, the complexity of implementation, and so on.